Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for clicking this video. So today I am coming to do a final wrap up of my recent trip to Greece aboard the Celestial journey. And thanks as always to the lovely Miss Amy who always sends me questions after I have a vacation. So we're going to see what I liked, what I didn't like, and we're going to answer her questions. I have not looked at the questions, so be interesting to see what she wants to know. Thank you to everybody who has enjoyed my Greece series. If you have not seen it, there will be a link in the description box, or you can check that iCard and watch the entire series and see what I got into when I was in Greece. So let's get started. Question number 1. Would your Greece cruise make your top 3 vacations? Vacation? No. So, that's a hard one because it definitely is high up on the I had such a great experience seeing different places. It's not the top 3 vacation. No, I had a wonderful time, but I have had so much more fun on other vacations. But it definitely ranked high with a new experience for me. You know, one of the biggest things I've wanted to do was like go and do a transatlantic trip over that side of the world where I had never been. So that was a major experience for me, and it was such a highlight. But as a whole, to sum it up as a vacation, not top 3, but it was a wonderful vacation. Number 2, would you return to Greece either on a land vacation or another cruise? Yes, I would definitely return to Greece. I probably would do another cruise just because, I prefer to be on the ship and be on the water. And then that way I'm not set in one specific place. If I did go back for a land trip, I probably would do like Athens just because it felt more like a thriving city where you had stuff to do. The ports we went to, I couldn't see myself staying at one of those ports for an extended period of time. So I would go back after I see some other places that I want to see. I would definitely go back. Number 3, if you did cruise back to that region again, would you go on Celestial again or another cruise line? Hands down, I would go on another cruise line. I would I've tried Celestial. It's not my speed as far as cruising. There was some things that I like to do on cruises that I just felt was not prominent enough on Celestial to make me want to go again. It's at this point, like, I like to do a lot more. I like it a little bit more fast paced when I'm on a cruise. So I wouldn't go back on the Celestial by my own choice. If it was something where, all my friends are like, we want to try it out, we want you to come with us, then of course I would do it because I would want to go with my friends. But just to say, I'm going back on Celestial, no, I think I'm one and done. Number 4, besides the itinerary, what is the biggest difference between Celestial and a North American cruise line such as Carnival or Norwegian? I think the biggest difference is more of like the culture of the cruise ship. Like, whereas Carnival, Norwegian, even like, Royal Caribbean, they're all about these big ships. They're in such competition with each other with these big ships. We want to have the slides and the things and the walls and everything. They want to have so much stuff on the cruise ships, where Celestial is like, we're here for more aesthetic. Like, the ship was so much more places to sit. Like, everything was quiet. If you watch my vlogs, one of the things I said was it was the quietest embarkation I had ever been on in 32 cruises. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so quiet. And then, not to mention just the way they do things, the activities that they have and all of that. I think the biggest difference is most of the cruise lines that I have sailed on are definitely there for more of the entertainment, more party, more fun, so many more food options. You know, Celestial, everything shut down at 9 o'clock. So if you wanted something to eat past 9 o'clock, you were just kind of stuck unless you spent money to get room service, and then that even stopped at 10 o'clock. So, you know, it was definitely more slower paced than what we're used to. Number 5, what were the biggest pluses for sailing on Celestial? The biggest pluses. Ooh, that's gonna be hard. No, it was a good experience. I'm trying to think. A big plus, their drink package was unlimited. There wasn't a limit on how many beverages you could get. The staff on Celestial was really great. The entertainment staff that we came across were very nice, you know, and I think they did their best to really try to get the people involved, to really try to make sure that you had a good time. So I think that was probably one of the big pluses, was like, even though, in my opinion, a lot of the people that were on the ship wasn't as enthusiastic as we're used to, at least in the daytime. Like nighttime, it was different. The people that went to the disco, everybody was having a great time. And, you know, people was up there and acting and doing things like that. I think we're just more used to go, loud entertainment in your face, people just in your face having fun doing things, where this was definitely more laid back, relaxed. So it's really hard to compare, because this is with this company, with this ship, this is their thing, you know, and this is the other people's thing, and I think I'm just more used to the other people's thing. So I think that's like what it is. But I will say the staff was wonderful. The ports, it was great to see new places and do like that. The ship was very clean, very nice, small, mid-sized ship, easy to navigate, remember where everything was. So positive, even though it probably sounds not positive, but I had a great time. Number 6, was there a downside to cruising Celestial? Go back and listen to questions 1 through 5. Those are really the only downsides that I had. Some just, and it's not to say that they're a bad cruise line, it's just not the way I like to cruise. And I didn't feel like the vibe was there for me. Even like going to the casino, you know, small casino area, but there was never anybody in there. So it's like you don't get the vibe, especially if you're a gambler. You like to see other people playing. You want to kind of have back and forth with some people. The games weren't the games that I'm used to, so it's like it wasn't games that I like to play. So I didn't get the good happy tingles that I normally get when I go into a casino. It just wasn't there for me. So that was one of the downsides of it. I think I talked about like not having the food options after a certain time. So if you got hungry a little bit later, that wasn't there. Other than that, you know, some of the customers weren't the best, but that's not their fault. That's the people's fault. And then I don't think there was anything. There wasn't really a downfall. It was just not for me as much as some of the other cruise lines. Number 7, what was your favorite port? I think my favorite port was Santorini. I really enjoyed, unless I can count Athens, but that really wasn't a port. That was where we started. I liked Athens a lot. But as far as once getting off the ship, Santorini was my favorite. I liked the style of it, even though everything was just up a hill and you had to walk. But when you pulled in and you're getting on these tender boats and you see everything up on that mountain, and it was just like exciting to think, oh, we're gonna go up there and see what's up there. Slippery and scary at points as it was to walk on the cobblestone roads and all that, they were beautiful. and then just being able to see the area where the blue dome buildings are, and then you look out and see the water and you see the ship, you see all those houses and buildings just sitting on top of this mountain, was really great. And it was more nighttime. You know, we were there a little bit later, so we got to see the ship lit up at night, and you got to see a little bit of the nightlife in the town area. They had bars and restaurants and all the different shops and things like that. We had a great excursion. And even though we were there for a long time and we got back on the ship, it would have been nice to actually go out and explore a little bit more, because I know there's a couple of other areas. So if I ever go back to Santorini, I'm definitely going to try to see other things, because I know there was a lot more to offer than what we actually saw. Number 8, what was your least favorite port? I think my least favorite port was, where did we go? We went on a group tour, the Mykonos. There was one where we went. I had to remember it, and I'm gonna put it on the bottom of the screen. And we toured around, and it didn't feel like there was a lot to see and do there. Although, you know, we went all around, and it just felt like it was all just dirt. There's a lot of construction type of stuff that seemed going on, you know, building, and it was just land. It was just land and land and land. And, you know, they're like, oh, we're building hotels here. But in the area, I'm like, well, what are they going to do there? It just didn't seem like there was anything to do. We did a quick stop at a beach, and their beaches are more rocky, pebbly, you know, stony. And the water is a little more chillier than you would, of course, be in the Caribbean. But, you know, just like not the sand that I'm used to, where it just makes you want to sit there and sit on the sand. But we didn't really get a lot of time there, but it just felt like there wasn't a lot that you could do there, and I was not really impressed. Number 9, I'm gonna have to look over and read. Was English widely spoken in Greece and Turkey? Did you have a difficult time making yourself understood? Yes, in Greece, English was widely spoken. I don't think there was a big language barrier when we were in Greece. I think the first port we went to, the cab driver, it was definitely, we had a little bit of a language barrier, but he was the only one in Greece that it was really like, say it again, you know, and then we were communicating and having trouble getting him to understand what we were trying to do. Other than that, in Greece, we didn't have any problems at all. And then in Turkey, there was definitely a little bit more of a barrier in Turkey, and that was with our tour guide, with our cab drivers. Once we got to our excursion, so the people there was a little bit definitely where you had to really pay attention and ask people to repeat themselves a few times, but we made it work. Number 10, would this have been a good cruise for children or for people with mobility issues? I do not think it would have been a good cruise for kids. Speaking just for my grandchildren, there wasn't anything activity wise for them to do on the ship. There was not any, like, you know, children's areas for them to, like, my grandkids like to get in the pool and get on water slides and things like that. They did have a couple of hot tubs, but other than that, or the pool, they could have gotten in the pool. But I didn't even see like life vests for the kids. I'm sure they probably had them, but it made me think of like when you're on Carnival and they have the life jackets for the kids to get in the pool. I did hear that there was a kids club, or they have a kids program, but because it's the off season, that it was only open maybe 1 or 2 hours per day. So definitely do not think it would have been a good cruise for kids. Not even to mention just like seeing some of the food options, the kids might have been like, I don't want to eat that. And I don't think the ports, going through excursions and different things, when I looked on all the websites and even the cruise ship, website, I didn't see a whole lot that would have appealed to taking some kids on an excursion. As far as mobility issues, I wouldn't think so. Just even getting on and off the ship, the ramps to get off the ship were very steep, and I couldn't imagine trying to wheel somebody down there if they're in a wheelchair. Going into Santorini, I'm guessing there would have been an elevator so you could get to the cable cars. I didn't see it. But everything was uphill. Like literally just walking around, seeing the sights, you're walking up, and it didn't seem very accessible, but I wouldn't think so. But you know, I can't speak for those who have mobility issues. All right, number 11 is our last question, and it says, you've cruised to the Eastern Caribbean, the Western Caribbean, Alaska, Greece, and Turkey. What is your favorite area to visit? Oh, you know what, probably the Western Caribbean. For now, I gotta hit the Southern too. No, you know what? Honestly, I think I like the areas where, like Mexico, Jamaica. I like where the waters are really warm. I love where the sand is just smooth and peaceful, where the culture and the people are nice. I've enjoyed all of the areas I've been to. You know, I love visiting St. Martin and Aruba. And places like that, because like the cultures are really good, the food is amazing. I'm excited for my cruise in November, where I get to try new ports that I haven't been to, like San Juan, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas. Where else are we going? Somewhere else that I haven't been, and I'm really excited to try those out. But I have like a special place for all of them. You know, I enjoyed going to Alaska and seeing that part of the world, and just coming back from Greece was amazing. But I think like the warm Caribbean Ocean definitely has my heart. So I probably would say Western Caribbean is my favorite. To do a wrap up here, and I hope it doesn't seem like I did not enjoy my cruise. I loved it. It was amazing. I just think that Celestial Journey probably wasn't the greatest ship experience for me, even though I had a great time. I love, like, you know, it's hard to explain. Hopefully y'all understand. Because if you watch the vlogs, you see I had a great time. I went to the shows. I love going to the stage shows. You know, I did manage to make it to a trivia. We went to the nightclub. But honestly, I think the ship experience was more made for me because of the people. You know, cruising with one of my, you know, favorite travel buddies, Veronica. We can have so much fun together. Hanging out with the group that we were with, and being able to meet new people and subscribers to my channel, and just hang out with some friends made it a lot better. But I would definitely put Greece back on my travel menu and circle back and try again. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Amy for always giving me such thought-provoking questions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've been on Celestial, mainly the Celestial Journey, how did you like it? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Thank you so much. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out if you are not subscribed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.